Good morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We'll be looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Tuesday the 20th of October. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, we're looking at the hourly candlestick, slightly bearish start to the morning here. Going to need to see Bitcoin steer clear of the pivot at 11,667 to support a run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 11,918. Going to need to see broad-based crypto rally, however, for Bitcoin to break out from yesterday's high that was at 11,828. Sparring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Bitcoin back. In the event of a breakout, expect Bitcoin to test resistance at 12,000 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sitting at 12,078 should cap any upside. Fall through the pivot level would bring the first major support level sitting at 11,507 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should still well clear of sub 11,500 levels, however. Second major support level sits at 11,256. Looking at the MACD, marked narrowing of the bullish histograms and a possible bearish cross formation there, so need to keep an eye on that. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 top out against the 100 and the 200 as well, also suggestive of a possible bearish morning. So key through the early part of the day, avoid sub 11,700 levels and that pivot level 11,667 and break back through to 11,800 levels to then bring resistance levels into play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, also bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ethereum move back through the pivot at 378.98 to bring the first major resistance level sitting at 385.07 into play. Support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from yesterday's high that was at 384.69. So buying an extended rally through the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Ethereum back. In the event of another rally, expect the second major resistance level at 390.78 to come into play before any pullback. Failure to move through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 373.27 into play. Barring an extended sell-off through the day, Ethereum should steer clear of 38.2% fib at 367, and the second major support level sits at 367.18. Looking at the MACDs, seeing a widening of the bearish histogram following yesterday's late bearish cross, supportive of this morning's early pullback. On the EMA, we're seeing the 50 hold its ground against the 100 and 200, however. So key through the early part of the day be to move back through the pivot at 378.98 and back through to 380 levels to then bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and expect a pullback and support levels to come into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, also in the red early on. You need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 47.7 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 48.8. Support from the broader market for Litecoin to break out from yesterday's high that was at 48.48. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to pin Litecoin back from anything beyond 49 levels. In the event of a breakout, should see Litecoin test resistance at 49.5. Second major resistance level 49.58 should cap any upside. Fall through the pivot level would bring the first major support level sitting at 46.92 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should steer well clear of the second major support level sitting at 45.82. Looking at the MACDs, marked narrowing of the bullish histograms and a possible bearish cross there this morning, supportive of this early pullback. On the EMAs, however, we are seeing the 50 narrow on the 100 and the 200, suggestive of a bullish morning ahead. So steering clear of the pivot level 47.7 should bring 48 levels and that first major resistance level 48.8 into play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, also bearish start. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move back through the pivot at 24.53 to support a run at the first major resistance level 0.2502. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break out from yesterday's high 0.24968. We expect plenty of resistance at 0.25. In the event of a breakout, got the second major resistance level at 0.2546 that would likely come into play. Resistance at 0.26 will cap any upside, however. There's a move back through the pivot, bring the first major support level of 0.2418 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should steer well clear of sub 0.24 levels. Second major support level sits at 0.2359. Looking at the MACD, we've got a widening of the bearish histogram following yesterday's late bearish cross, supportive of this pullback following yesterday's late pullback, and we've got the 50 EMA failing to narrow on the 100, suggestive of a possible further loss through the morning. So key through the early part of the day would be to move back through that pivot level at 0.2453. Failure to do that, and we've got support levels in play.